Road Break family, how's every single one of you? Welcome to the original Road Break. We're going to talk about the week in wrestling. We have three shows to talk about, lots of things. Major big news is like the return of Bray Wyatt to SmackDown. It's going to be exclusive for the Blue brand, and we're going to be dissecting everything. So welcome. Don't forget we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitter. So family, hey, let us know, like throw us a comment, let us know what you guys feel about all the shows. Paul, week in wrestling that Monday Night Raw keeps shaping to be really good, and SmackDown also like very like they assume they're competing with each other.
Yeah, and I think, whether you really like each and every match segment, they're on the upswing. They have a lot of momentum, even if you don't include Bray Wyatt, which he's a big factor of that. But they're on the upswing, and AEW is on the down. I mean, they have some things going for them, but not much. And, to me, that ship is just falling apart. But we're starting here with SmackDown, and this was a newsworthy show. A lot of stuff going on, and to me, it's hard to say, but I really almost got to think that SmackDown is their number one show. That's like, WWE's, number one, with the moves we're seeing here tonight and stuff, even though Brock Lesnar, we're going to talk about him in a little bit on Monday Night Raw, but they're really presenting SmackDown as like a number one show here.
They're trying to, like you said, like make the one to compete with the other. So let's start breaking the shows down. But again, one more time, thank you to every single one of you that are watching us, helping us out, with like subscriptions and everything. Thank you for the love for everything that we did last weekend. All SmackDown open up with this was what's supposed to happen. Fatal 4-way to go against Gunter. The Intercontinental Championship.
Can we go back to the picture of him again?
Right there. Why is Karrion Kross going into this if he has better things with like Roman Reigns? But this was the main explanation. Drew McIntyre. So at least they gave us like.
So they said he was in a car
decision.
They said he was in a car accident, and then as he was getting like helped away from the car accident, Drew just beat him up. So now, like, even if you hate somebody, if they're in a car accident, are you really going to jump them right then and there? That kind of makes Drew look like a heel. I'm like, did Drew cause the car accident? Like, I mean, if he did, I guess, we would pop if Stone Cold did it. So I guess we should pop it for Drew. You know what I mean? So it was just really confusing. It was done, just all of a sudden. I don't know if something happened, change of plans. Maybe Fox said, hey, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. We really want to push that. Who's the biggest Hispanic star? Rey Mysterio. We want him on SmackDown. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But he got, again, spoiler, he gets inserted in a major way because Karrion, gets taken out of this because obviously he was in a major car accident. This and that gets jumped by Drew. But is Karrion hurt? Or what's going on here?
No, I feel that they made kind of like the wrong move there. I said well, we need something to cook both storylines. So hey, let's put him in this match, and then Drew will jump him. That way, hey, we have like a reason.
The only thing though with this is now, but you can't have Karrion Kross come back in a week from now and start beating guys up because then he sells the car accident.
Yeah, it's true.
He needs to be out for at least a month or two. I mean, he can maybe appear and do like talking, but a match, he can't wrestle because he needs to sell it. I mean, otherwise, what the fuck? I mean, I'm sorry, but that's bullshit.
Otherwise, like a car crash can happen to anybody, right? And we're good. We're good. It's true. I mean, I didn't again, what was the insertion needed
that to me was weird. That to me was the only thing I was like, huh? Like, what's going on here? Like, the booking didn't make sense with this, but.
Yes, exactly. That was a little bit of a head scratcher, but that was the beginning of SmackDown. And then we have also cool stuff with here, Roxy C or like Roxy, like she's right there, she needed to pick somebody for from SmackDown to go to NXT for next week, and then she picked Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi. They were gonna have a feud also with Damage Control. This was good, and like you said, Roxy has a lot of bright future. Remember, she's a former Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, and I mean, this was good again, obviously setting up the main feud here, and then we saw the big 6-woman tag, and that was a pretty good match. But and I don't know if you have pictures for it too, but like to open the show to Sami Zayn and Kofi Kingston, I mean, that was a good match, and all the interaction there with the bloodline and everything, they kept that going. And the main thing here is Solo Sikoa, like you said, he's going to be in this match, the Fatal 4-Way. to determine the number one contender, which was good. And I liked when they said, oh, you know, when Jey Uso was like, I helped you guys. Didn't you see when I helped you? You saw him, right? And then Sikoa was like, no, I didn't see anything. And then, like, so he takes Sammy's side. So you see, it's like almost everybody is against Jey here. So, I mean, everything that the Bloodline does, especially Sami Zayn, this is great stuff. So, I mean, you know, you got to say, like, people might say, man, Roman's act was getting stale. You know, this is a whole new element, and you got to, you know, I credit a lot of that to Sami Zayn. So this was good. And this with Bayley here, I was almost scared she was going to get pinned again. Because we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, awful booking. I'm sorry. You know, that's
Bayley's not winning the title, and then what happened after that? Yeah, that didn't really.
This was a little bit of a redemption here. Like I said, in the 6-woman tag match, you know, it was all right, but and then after that, they set up, okay, we're going to see Raquel and Shotzi go against Damage Control for the tag belts, and I could easily see them winning that and taking the tag belts from Damage Control, which, I mean, would be unfortunate, because I think, like, that group should all had titles, you know, to really establish to get them over. But, you know, this is how kind of Triple H, he's almost booking it how he booked NXT, just on the main roster, and this is how those tag belts were. You know, they hold it for a couple weeks, they give it to another team, they hold it for a couple weeks, give it to another team. You know, nothing really stays like that, you know, like
nothing is stays like you said, like and those titles were never even meaningful anyway, despite how much they tried, despite how much effort, they never been like good enough for that. But like you said, that was one of the things that we saw on SmackDown, and we're going to see next week, the tag team championship match. We saw this, like, they're hinting Paul at like going Braun Strowman against Omos. MVP was right there also, like, Stills being the manager. No more action for MVP because you remember Bobby Lashley and all of that. But you can see here that maybe they will do that for Crown Jewel, or also maybe for the Survivor Series. But here the only thing I have is, you know, Braun Strowman is not a great wrestler, and neither Omos.
Yeah,
so, like,
I was gonna say, yeah,
Battle of the Giants.
Well, sorry to cut you off, but I mean, no, I'm just gonna, you know, pick your handing the ball off to me, and I'm gonna be running with it, because this is just, it's not good. Who's the leader of this match? And okay, it's a big man versus big man. You should build that for something special. What, you're just gonna have this on SmackDown, or have this on Crown Jewel, and it's gonna mean nothing? You know, it should be, build it up for a WrestleMania. The match will suck, but at least it'll be a spectacle.
It will cause a lot of, like,
you know, it'll be, people will want to see. It'll be like train wreck. They want to see how bad it is. But I mean, MVP is so good. He should go back to Bobby Lashley, especially with what I talk about. I'm going to talk about Bobby Lashley here in a little bit. I think he should almost go back to being heel again. Going to save that for Monday Night Raw. Who do we have here? Pato.
It's Pato. Hey, you know, hey, my friends, you know, lots of hugs to Jean Paul and Juan. You know, like, a lot of success in their program. Thank you so much, Pato. Gracias, Pato.
Thank you, Pato. Sí, gracias, Pato.
Gracias, Pato. Exactly. See, Paul is also bilingual. But, like, going back to, like you said, this is just, for me, Paul, like, the only thing I have to say on this is why you bring Braun Strowman if you don't really have a big fuse for him, like the big storyline. You know, a lot of people fought for it, but again, Braun Strowman goes back to being, I don't want to say lost in the shuffle, but I just want to say that, like, there's no really clear direction where he's going to go. So, like, Omos, really, like you always say, is like you put a wrestler that is not great, you know, with another guy that is green as grass.
Yeah, how are you going to do it? That Braun was a Triple H hire, or was that a Vince, maybe? No,
under
on
the
rug,
way out,
hey, like, or like on the way out, because I'm like, I feel like they brought him in, and you thought, okay, if Triple H brought him in, he's gonna get him over, like, you know, he was over, you know, how many years ago, but no, he's been booked like shit. Otis picks him up and slams him every other week, or you know, he gets, you know, lost in 6-man tags. And okay, now I feel like this is maybe a soft reset, but what's he gonna do? Squash Omos? And like, I almost called him Bobby Lashley. MVP buried him because he's like, you know, when you stand next to Omos, you look small.
Yeah. So that's the one thing, is like, again, I mean, it looks cool for like everybody. Hey, it's going to be the Battle of the Giants. You know, like we've seen that. We remember the days of the Great Khali against Kane, the Great Khali going against Mark Henry. You know, Big Daddy B. Remember that, Mabel? So we've seen that before. What was the result though? Not a great match. It was just mid-card. Nobody really cared for it. So there you go. But I mean, that's what we had also, like another segment of the show. Max Dupree no more, Paul. LA Knight, here I am. I didn't do this for you guys. So he beat also one of the members of like the model whatever thing, and this was good. This is the LA Knight.
Speaking of Crown Jewel, that's their boy from Saudi Arabia.
Yes. Yeah, that's the guy, but he's all like fruity and everything. Or not, that's as much as I'm gonna take it. Fruity, but again, LA Knight is back. Remember, if they use him as this, it's gonna be good. I like this. If they use him
this is good. Yeah, this was good because he immediately just turned heel.
David Guerrero, a friend of ours, a friend of the house. Gracias, David. And he knows how it goes. He knows what the deal is. But yeah, remember LA Knight in the good days of NXT. I like that. I used
because he called
this.
out all the
remember
people.
How much we love him and nothing else happened. So hopefully redemption for LA Knight here, Paul.
Yeah, and this is something, build him up as a heel, get him ready for, I don't know. I don't see Walter holding that title forever. Maybe he's going to drop it to a baby face and, he's right there. And just think of the interaction between, even if they do heel versus heel, LA Knight versus Roman and the Bloodline, the promos between Paul Heyman and LA Knight will be fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. And, saludos, mi amigo David. Gracias por todo. Un abrazo. Muchas gracias por darnos la atención. Ya saben, compartan la página también. Ayúdenos a crecer en español and also in English. So good stuff on there, Paul. And talking about Spanish, we've been saying, sí. El legado del fantasma. There you go. Let's do it like how we're supposed to say it. I don't like this too much, Paul, mainly because it's we've seen this on NXT. So, this is just, something that we've seen again. And I'm not too interested because what do you think? Without Isaiah Scott, the group looks really, really bad when it comes Hit Bro. I don't care for this.
That's why I think Triple H wanted to bring them all in. He was even going to try to steal Swerve Scott from AEW.
Yes.
And when that didn't happen, maybe now these are just going to be used as mid-card talent right now until they can maybe a new gimmick or until they can get themselves over or whatever. I'm fine that Legado won here.
The match was really quick too, though.
Yeah. That's fine. I didn't want to see these teams wrestle very long. Legado won good. And once the whole New Day and Bloodline feud is over, because that's the big feud going on with the tag titles, because the Usos are only 30 days away from tying the Usos' longest reign for WWE Tag Champs, and then obviously they're going to probably eclipse it. And I think once that feud's over with the New Day and hopefully they retain, if you want to get a team over, even if they lose, have Legado challenge the Bloodline for the tag
Legado
titles.
will be good, but again,
for me, not a one-off.
Without Scott,
not a one-off match, and also not a one-off match. Oh, on SmackDown they challenge for the belts and lose. Okay, nobody cares. No, build it up and try to make these people feel legit. Have Zelina Vega cut promos with Paul Heyman. Really work to try to get these guys over. Again, that's the whole magic that Triple H has with all these guys. Is people might be like, well, who are they? I never seen these guys before, because if you never watched NXT, well, now he has a fresh slate with a lot of these guys to really get them over. So it's this is your one chance to, to not screw it up.
Exactly. So that's what I said. I just Selena is a great talker. So that's a good thing because Alexa wasn't. So that's a good improvement on that. So we'll see what happens. Liv Morgan, Paul, is still trying to
what the hell was this segment? Jump through a table on top of Sonya Deville to prove she was extreme. This to me was dumb. They're gonna have a match. Okay, that's fine. But why did she have to jump through a table? What if she would have legit broke her back or tore something?
They're trying to do. Pato is even so upset that he says right there. No comment on that.
Yes.
No comment on that, Pato. No comment on that. No me dices nada, Pato. No me dices nada. But here, the main thing is, I guess Liv is trying to, I don't know, we don't know what direction the character is going to go. She wants to be more extreme. She wants to, appeal to that audience. She wants to make us believe that, she can go against Ronda Rousey. Is she going to be able to? All I know from Liv is, they're mentioning Paul, and remember, maybe a member of the Wyatt family now. Oh, she's going to be on an episode of Chucky. There you go for the Halloween fans.
Yes, and then also earlier in the show.
This was terrible, as you said. Bad.
Yeah, and then earlier in the show, we saw Rey Mysterio. He comes up to Triple H. He's like, hey, man, I got to talk to you. I can't keep doing this. Fighting my son. You saw what happened on Monday Night Raw. It was bullshit. He's like, I can't do this. I quit. And then the schnoz himself was like, oh, my God, calm down. Don't be bullshit. think it over. Give me 5 minutes. Come into my locker. Come into the dressing room. Like my office. We'll sit down. We'll talk.
There you go,
Don't
Paul.
be bullshit.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go. There he is. He's
Paul
like,
talking to me, right there.
Yes.
Look
And
how
then-
much down he has to look down.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty
He's
much
like
how it
talking to a
is.
child.
Yes. I mean, that's like when Ray talks to his son. He has to look up like that. But no. So then this was the whole thing. Is he gonna quit? And you knew he wasn't. And then like
I'm
we
not
said,
that tall, so I shouldn't even say.
and then, like we
anything,
said
but you
earlier
should
in the
say, yeah, there you go,
storyline,
keep going.
in the storyline, Jesus, earlier in the episode here, we talked about how Rey Mysterio was going to take over for Karrion Kross. So this was the whole thing. So, I guess we'll just talk about it now because we pretty much, I think, mentioned everything major on SmackDown besides the main event.
The main event was pretty much.
But what do you think? What do you think of this now? I like this. You move Rey Mysterio on SmackDown. You kind of do this whole thing. He runs his course here on SmackDown. You get Dominic over on Monday Night Raw in Judgment Day as a heel with Rhea, and then eventually they can meet up again at the Royal Rumble. And then what happens? Lead that
one eliminates the
into,
other.
and then lead that into what? WrestleMania. This is perfect.
Father against son.
This is perfect to prolong it, get them on different brands, because there was no way you could have prolonged this feud if they both stayed on the same show. There was no way. There's no way they could have.
Because at some point you got to make them collide.
Yeah. So this is great booking, and this match was good. You had Ricochet and Rey Mysterio could do all the high flying, all that stuff like that,
and stiffness.
And you had Sheamus in there and Solo Sikoa to beat the shit out of each other. Now, Solo Sikoa looked good in there. He was manhandling everybody. Everybody shined. Every single person in this match shined. I thought Sheamus maybe beat up on Solo Sikoa a little too much. They're really pushing Sheamus right now, and he's hot. The fans are behind him, so I understand why. But I'm still like, okay, Solo Sikoa is supposed to be this world beater. He's supposed to be this, street fighter, tough guy. Maybe don't have him get slapped 26 times in a row in the chest like that. But, I mean, Ray looked good. And everybody was taken out. The Brawling Brutes came out. You had the Usos came out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Bloodline came out. Then the Brawling Brutes, and then it was a mass hysteria. He goes to hit the 619. Ricochet catches him. I don't think so. He goes to set up some big Canadian destroyer or some crazy thing. DDTs him. Boom. Spikes him. Sets up a 619 again. Hits it. Big splash. Pins him. Hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. Rey Mysterio wins, and he's going to challenge Walter Gunther, whatever you want to call him, for the Intercontinental Championship. So this is going to be a David versus Goliath. Everybody has a sympathy for Rey Mysterio because of everything going on with his son, and he's freaking Rey Mysterio. Come on.
And also,
and
Paul,
it's Hispanic Heritage Month.
What kind of guys used to do in this David Goliath storylines? Who's the guy that
Well, Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio. There's nobody else.
And like I said, there's Hispanic Heritage Month. So push him, really, really build this up, push him. And if you put the belt on him, everybody loves it. And if you don't, boo, man, you get major heat on Walter. So
on Gunther and Walter, yeah, absolutely. So it's a good booking. Like you said, good idea to switch them up. Mysterio and Dominic. Absolutely, I agree with you. There's no better way. And like you said, it will be cool that they do the mask, and finally he retires. Here's your mask. Here's the family. Here's the heritage. Here's the tradition right there. Okay, my son. So good. So this was a good SmackDown, but I'm like, okay, 9:15, what's going on? So we needed to hear from Bray Wyatt. It was a good promo. It seems that it's going to be split in two. Thank you very much. Let me just stop for a second. To every single one of you that is watching, we have a lot of people comment on the show. Let us know, hey, SmackDown was good. It was bad. I like it now that it's under Triple H. I'm getting behind WWE once again. Let us know. Let's start the conversation with all of you. Comment, share the links. We're everywhere on the social media waves. But Paul, you guys saved my life. I was lost. I lost a lot of two members of my family that I really love and appreciated. I didn't like this from Bray Wyatt because I want Bray Wyatt to just come and start kicking ass, be keeping the mystique of the character that I'm used to seeing with. But again, they're saying that there's going to be two separate entities that live in one single person, because after that, very emotional promo, very, from the heart, we got to see this guy that he said, forget about the past and let's be legit. Let's be, cool and let's just start attacking one more time. So you tell me, what did you think about it?
I mean,
And I have otro amigo, Pedro. ¿Cómo estás? Gracias. Saludos para ti también, a toda mi gente hermosa, linda de mi ciudad, Ambato. And sorry about that, Paul. So let's go.
You're fine. No apologies. But
too much.
I mean,
too much love.
This was with Bray, with everything he said was fine, and he was speaking from the heart. But so I won't insult him for that. He's allowed to have those feelings and those thoughts, but that doesn't do jack shit for his character. The only thing that saved this, like you said, the two entities, he came out, he said, no, I'm Bray Wyatt, the man. And then at the end of it, maybe Bray Wyatt, the something else, or one of his other forms, or however they're going to do it, took him over. So hopefully, maybe it's like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing. You have the good version, and then you have the bad version. I mean, I won't insult anything he said. I won't say, oh, he shouldn't have said, he shouldn't have been upset, or when the fan said, oh, thank you, you saved my life, and this and that. I won't insult any of that. I won't even go into any of that, because that's his feelings. Everyone's entitled to them. That has nothing to do with wrestling, so I won't comment on it because this is a wrestling podcast. But as far as when
we do the emotional podcast, we will
exactly, exactly when we do the kumbaya and holding hands and everything podcast.
I'm just saying again, and you allow me 1 second. It's just like you said, it's a wrestling show. And leave those things for when you do give interviews. You said it to me, leave that because again, you kill it for me. I want this guy to just be the Undertaker.
You heard, okay, this is a perfect example, and again, this is no insult to Bray Wyatt. I'm happy he's back, and I hope they book him legit. But you heard the thing with Ric Flair and when he was with Evolution, where he said, "Oh, I lost my, I didn't think it was legit anymore.
I lost my confidence."
Yeah, my confidence and all that. Imagine if he said that on Monday Night Raw right then and there.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost my confidence. I didn't think I could do it anymore. Like, that's kind of what Bray Wyatt was saying.
And everybody's going to be like, really, Rick?
Yeah, everybody will be like, dude, you're supposed to be limousine riding.
What happened with this guy? What happened with this guy? No, exactly. So I gotta just another side. I gotta say hi. I'm sorry, Paul. I gotta say it. Mi querido Antonio, hermano, un abrazo muy grande, muchos saludos, que espero que te vaya muy bien. Muy pronto estaremos hablando contigo, que disculpa la ingratitud. See, now going back to the show. Vamos a lots of love today for Road Break. I appreciate it. Keep sharing the link and all the love again. Comment about the show also. I mean, I love the love, but, let us know about the show. But like you said, if there's two separate entities,
I couldn't tell. Go back to the picture. Is that a nose ring, or was he like crying and that was like snot boogers hanging out?
No, it's the nose ring. It's not a booger.
Okay.
It's not like.
I couldn't tell it when I was watching it. I'm like, for a shoot, I was like, is he have a fucking snot hanging out? Like, is he crying that much? And then I'm like, no, that's gotta be a nose ring.
No, it was just a bug. But like you said, it's at least we're gonna see more of like what's going on, like where the main storyline is going, because maybe the good guy could be fighting the other guy, like you said, like John.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about another emotional promo in a little bit later on, but I mean, to me, I was more hyped up after Extreme Rules than now, but yeah.
Exactly. So like, no, that will be the one thing, and then Pato is also saying, para el público latinoamericano que hablen muy rápido. Okay, so like he's saying that, we're talking really fast for like the Hispanic audience, but hey, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. So Pato, hope you love it. Hope you like, and again, lots of greetings to every single one of you. Thank you, family, for doing that. So like you said, Paul, now let's go to Monday Night Raw. Let me just change everything of the setup so everybody like gets it. Even we'll give you better music and everything for you guys. But like you said, like SmackDown was pretty good, very interesting and like solid.
Yes, lots of newsworthy stuff, whether you liked it or not. There's stuff to talk about. Rey Mysterio, Bray Wyatt, Karrion Kross.
You had a lot of good things going on the show, so like it's very cool. But like, tell me a little bit about how like Monday Night Raw had like Brock Lesnar in it, but they opened up with the Bloodline. Roman Reigns, all of them, and of course Sami Zayn.
Oh yeah, he's part of the family. But yeah, essentially, Matt Riddle came out. He beat Seth Rollins at the pay-per-view. He made his big claim, and then it was going to be Sami Zayn had the match because Roman was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to accept your challenge. Are you kidding me?" So that was the whole thing. So you see, okay, is he the number one contender? Even though he had the match before when he lost, which then he couldn't challenge for the title anymore as long as Roman was the champ.
Other song.
But, then another thing, then you saw Johnny Gargano. He beat Austin Theory. You saw that on the show.
What are your thoughts,
And
Paul, on that you mentioned? They're saying
I
that
mean,
they're trying to take away the money in the bank from Austin Theory.
they're booking him like shit, and I don't get it. I don't think it's a punishment thing. I really don't get it. I mean, there's no way Triple H don't look at this guy and go, okay, he's a great wrestler. The dude is tall. He's muscular. He's a pretty decent promo. And he's obviously only going to get better. So there's no way he don't see that. But I'm like, I don't know why they're beating this guy into the ground.
Exactly. I don't
And
know. Like a lot of
yeah,
people are saying because it's not credible enough, or because also like the decision of the money in the bank for Austin Theory is more like a Vince McMahon thing. But I mean, if they take it away, like imagine, like all this time that like he's held the money in the bank, have we even mentioned it in the briefcase?
yeah,
think we've
I
said
mean, he
that
tried, like
many
I said,
times
a
before
couple of the
when Otis had it.
pay-per-views. To me, the last notable time was when he tried to cash in at Clash at the Castle, where
That
Tyson
was
Fury
it.
knocked him out. But yeah, I mean, he's not booked good, and I wish he was booked better. Maybe,
Yes.
I don't know. You got to change up his character. Maybe once he loses the briefcase or fails to cash in, you can do a reset with him. But speaking of with the Garganos, Candice LeRae beat Bayley,
Yes.
pretty much clean, which again, Bayley's coming off the pay-per-view loss, and now it's like, okay, you think Bayley's going to maybe get the rematch, you're going to continue the feud, do something that could, push damage
Legit, yeah.
control. Candice LeRae just came in, okay, I'll just beat Nikki Ash, okay, just kind of building up some wins, but then just
Nope.
beats the former number one contender, multiple women's champion. Just, I think Bayley was going to hit a belly to belly or hit something. Candice kind of just
And then
rolled
she did
through,
like a
countered, and then just roll up 1, 2, 3. So again, not the best booking decision there. I mean, you're really trying to get her over, and I understand that, but Bayley's more over. The fans want to see Bayley win. She's the hot heel. Keep pushing Bayley and keep trying to get damage control over. So again, not good booking there. But one of the first big surprises, you had the whole
Of course,
Rey
I
Mysterio.
have, like, we have,
Yeah,
like
do we have the pictures?
see
for the whole-
Judgment Day. Well, you got to see this. So like you said,
Yeah.
like this was kind of like the end for Rey Mysterio and Dominic, on Raw. So this was like again cool because like every time it's like punch me, bench you won't hurt your own son, things like that. Like there's like a lot of taunting there going on, but like this is good. And then we got to see your Judgment Day. Yee. They embrace AJ Styles. That was cool. Oh, okay, we're part of the family. You see
Yeah,
their
that was
smile on
legit when
Damian Priest
AJ
and
came
Rhea
out and
Ripley,
he's like,
everybody.
"Oh, I need, my brothers, my family," and he hugged him and he's like, "I wasn't talking about you." And then the music hit and Finn's eyes were like, "Huh?"
OC baby.
Yeah, I mean, this was a big shock. This was cool because nobody heard, nobody was like, "Oh, the OC's coming back," they're leaving Impact and going to
Gallows
WWE.
and Anderson.
Yeah, nobody was like reporting that. So they're back. This is cool. And this, it adds a credible team. I'm not saying, oh, they're world beaters, they're the best thing ever. No, I'm not saying that. But they're a credible tag team with size, with a name, can have decent promo. They've been former tag champs. You can put them in a tag division that sorely needs tag teams.
Yes.
And
And
the
also,
one
like
thing,
here is gonna be a good feud, a long ass feud. Supposedly, Paul, I
Yeah.
already can give you the spoiler. Supposedly, they might add Liv Morgan into this. I'm not, completely sure, but they are thinking about doing war games between these two groups. Judgment Day going against, OC, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan. So this is cool. Cool. The only thing is, like, I would love them. They will call them the Good Brothers, just because you keep the good like Impact and everything. And
Yeah,
since
I mean, the
everybody's
only
acknowledging
thing-
everybody.
the only thing that kind of sucks is like you're doing this whole Liv Morgan thing on SmackDown now. So was she gonna just flip flop back and forth to Raw? I mean, the one thing that would be cool if somehow Judgment Day could add another guy, and then, I mean, but then it would get too many people. But like, you almost want to see Beth Phoenix in this group to
Yeah.
take on Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't make any sense without Edge being there. So I don't know.
Exactly. No, it's that,
I
but
mean-
like at least like I said, good surprise.
Yeah.
They're back. Also, we're mentioning they're gonna let Carl Anderson defend like the one. He's actually champion in New Japan.
Yeah, the never open weight champion or
the
something
never
like that. but-
defeatable. Yeah, the,
Yeah,
but, like,
the
he's
never
supposedly-
grow
he's
hair on
gonna
top of
go
my
as
head champion.
at Wrestle Kingdom. So that's cool because we're gonna have guys from AEW, from WWE at Wrestle Kingdom. So
Well,
again, like
Triple H don't care. He's slowly gonna open that. He don't care. I'm not saying in 2023 him and Tony Khan are gonna be eating hamburgers together and booking WrestleMania together. But eventually, I think he's gonna be opening his door to saying, hey, let's work with this promotion. Let's do something with here. Cross promote this, that, whatever. This and because why not? Why not
yeah,
let
no,
these guys
because
work
you gotta
this
open
stuff?
it up.
So
You know, you
yeah.
gotta like.
I mean, obviously, I'm sure in his next title defense, he's going to drop the belt. I'm sure he's not going to defend it and keep holding it. But, you know, there weren't like, oh, you have to drop it immediately before coming here. They, you know, they're not strict. They don't care. It's not.
And also they know
like
that it's promotion for them also. So they understand, you know, they see the difference.
yeah.
So like that's one thing. Also, like Paul, your thoughts on like the new announcing teams. You know, we got to see Ray Barrett and Michael Cole on SmackDown, and now we got to see Kevin
SmackDown
Patrick.
was good. I had no,
And,
I thought
Corey
they were
Graves on
good.
Raw.
And, you know, Michael Cole poked fun at Wade Barrett. He was able to fire back, this and that. You know, Wade, I swear they're either mind readers or something in the Bailey match. You know, I even thought of the Jesse Ventura line. I'm like, you got to wake up pretty early in the morning to get one over on them. And he even said the line, he's like, yeah, Roxanne Perez, she's got to wake up pretty early in the morning to get one over on Bailey. And I'm like, see, he's even using the classic heel lines from Jesse Ventura. So, I mean, this is good. They're good. To me, the worst one, and I like him, but not as a commentator, the worst one is NXT with Booker T.
Oh, yeah. Well, Boog has never been a good commentator.
Just because, what's his name? What's his name? The other guy. Yeah, Vic does good, and he hands it off to him. You know, he pitches it, and then Booker swings it. It's like a strike.
It's like, come on, Boog. It's like, can you give me like, you know, Paul? Even instead of you just fire Nigel McGuinness, dude. You want to just ship to NXT? That was right there. You know?
I mean, unless he was living over in the UK, and they said, "Hey, do you want to come over here?" and he said no.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, no, like that's better. Like you said, at least reshipped into the commentary teams. And one thing,
but I mean, Raw was fine.
No more 3 teams. Only 2 guys. So there you go. Old school, like in a way that like we actually watch WWE. So absolutely legit. And see, WWE was not on SmackDown is now going to have Bray Wyatt. So what are you going to get? You get Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar ambushes Bobby Lashley. You know, we got to see a few F5s, and he's like, do it again. Brock just enjoying himself. Kimura lock, and he injures pretty much Bobby Lashley to the point that like when he has to defend the title against Seth Rollins, he ends up losing the match, and we get a brand new and a 2-time Grand Slam champion in Seth freaking Rollins, which is good because I mean Bobby Lashley as United States champion, okay, it was good, but again, if you have better plans with Brock Lesnar, you just gotta drop the title to Rollins. And that's fine because Rollins, like you mentioned before, he's been losing a lot of matches. So what do you think? I liked it.
Yeah, the thing that like when you know he had the promo, you know, I beat all these people and mentions Lesnar, mentions Drew, Rollins, this and that. He comes out, he's like, oh yeah, gets in his face. He holds up the belt, immediately picks him up F5, and the crowd pops and they love it.
Good.
And then they're like, do it again. Brock is babyface clearly because the crowd loves it. You have to turn Bobby heel now. Yeah. Bobby can't come out and be all, you know, guys, because no, they were saying, yeah, they were cheering him. Shelton Benjamin even tweeted out. He said, you guys were cheering this guy, and then 30 seconds later, you were chanting for him to get F5'd? Like, what the hell's going on here? So, you know, this was good. It was a good out for Seth Rollins, and they didn't bury Lashley. It wasn't like Rollins came out, pinned him, right? 1, 2, 3.
You guys are fickle, right?
Fickle, yeah. You know, they had a little bit of a match. You know, Lashley, he couldn't really get the lock on him, and he had the injured arm, and Rollins hit a pedigree right away, but he kicked out. Like I said, they had a little bit of a match, but eventually, you know, he hit the stomp, he hit it again, 1, 2, 3. He gets the pin, like you said, double Grand Slam champ. Hey, good for Rollins. They're setting him up. Him and Riddle are going to have a match. So that's going to be something good to look forward to. Lashley and Lesnar, obviously, that's going to be a match you build up.
Crown Jewel, I'm thinking.
And, you know, to me, you got to turn Lashley heel. Yeah. So maybe you're going to see Lashley and Omos with MVP. Maybe they're going to be a stable. Who knows what you're going to do?
What do they want to bring back, Paul?
Her business.
Yep. Her business. That's what they're going to do. So Elias is going to return next week. I mean, it's better than Ezekiel. So I guess that is something. And we didn't see Kevin Owens. That was, I guess, you know, something. I mean, they don't have probably time, or maybe he wanted to time off or stuff like that. This is going to be, let's see what Elias can do this time under Triple H. Maybe a little more edgy. I mean, the charisma, there's a little bit of it, and he can wrestle decent. So something that we gotta see. And you said Matt Riddle defeated Sami Zayn in a really good match. But remember, what was the thing? It's like, oh, like he told the Usos, I got it. You don't need to help me. It's all legit. I got you. And at some point when Riddle was getting some offense, the Jimmy, I think, is trying to help him. He's like, no, he said he got it. He's good. And end up winning the match. Really good stuff. And then we get to see 25th anniversary of D-Generation X. This was just more for the crowd. This is more just for the crowd. A little bit of like the same shtick of like the Road Dog, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and then Triple H, let's get ready to suck up, and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned China. Yeah, they mentioned
Billy.
And then they mentioned Billy. Yeah. I mean,
no,
like
because
said,
like he did, like, remember, it's like the Road Dog, Jesse James, and then he handed out the mic to the crowd, and they said the badass Billy Gunn. So that was cool. And then they mentioned China. I mean, really nice way to end the show, because
I like earlier in the thing where Triple H is telling them what not to do, and I mean, okay, they're doing the corny jokes, this and that, about like the cops and they're holding the chick and stuff like that, whatever. But I like when they're leaving and he goes, "Oh, and no fighting," and that's like at AEW, like no fighting, don't be bullshit. So that was legit.
If Tony is able to poke, all the time, why can't WWE poke? And like you said, like AEW. Because of everything that is going on right now, a lot of people are like,
and I think that's a perfect transition. If we're gonna flip the script here,
exactly, like you said, like there you go, no fighting or anything. So like, but I mean, DX is, I mean, they have to also do nostalgia acts, right, Paul? Like they need a little bit of that. We all like it. I mean, I don't want to say it's the greatest thing in the world to do, but at least it's something interesting that they do. So that was like Monday Night Raw, family, and now let's go to AEW. And this show is not as good. I mean, we got a big debut. I mean, in the commentary team, for like guys that appreciate that, JR is getting less and less responsibilities. Of course, the age,
he's on Rampage now. From what I heard him say on his podcast that he's on Rampage because they're really trying to promote Rampage, which I think it's because he just wants to work an hour instead of 2 hours because he knows this show sucks. But this is a discussion for a different day. But yeah, like you said, Renee is here. I mean, this is a no-brainer. The crowd pops like it's fucking Bruno Sammartino coming out.
Yes.
That to me, I'm like, okay, what has she really done? She was she's a nice person. No offense to her, because I'm not saying I would be any better. But she was a shitty commentator on Monday Night Raw. So she should not be a commentator here. She should be the backstage interviewer. Every time there's an interview, it should be her or it should be Tony Schiavone. If you're going to do, she should be the main one. Schiavone should be the backup. If, he's mostly going to be on commentary. But I mean, hey, this is fine. This is a no-brainer. I mean, Jesus, they just gave John Moxley a 5-year deal. She probably said, hey, can I get some of that moolah too? And Tony Khan said,
can I get some of that pie?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like you said, easy. And also, like, what are they going to do now? They're going to incorporate her in the storylines. He was from Canada. She's Canadian also. So there you go, like a no-brainer. Like the whole show is the first time AEW was in Canada. So there you go. They were trying to milk that.
And that's why the crowd was really hot too. This was like, I think a sellout or almost a complete sellout. This is their first time in this market. So of course the crowd was really hot to see them. So like you said, the show felt special, but still a lot of the booking decisions I don't think were very good.
But to me, again, the main event is always not like what it should be. Like a title match, but a title that nobody really cares about. It's kind of like the 24/7 on the line, for the main event of the show. I mean, and no offense to Pac, because we love Pac, but again, he probably thinks the same way. He probably won't say it, but he thinks the same way. So, we got here like Jungle Boy, like lost to Luchasaurus with the help of Christian. A lot of people, okay, is Canadian, and they were saying Edge is better than you. A lot of heel heat. Good stuff here, and Luchasaurus at least getting his first break as a singles competitor.
Yeah, this I was fine with. Like you said, he gets the heel heat, and it was just it prolongs the feud because they're gonna keep going until Jungle Boy gets the win.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Like that's gonna be really cool. Another promo of MJF. See, this is killing MJF. MJF is hot as hell when he returned. Just put him in the title picture. Just put him in the main event where he belongs. Why would you waste all this time with Wheeler Yuta? You said that like Tony Khan sees him as like Lex Luger or like a Sting. I don't know how you can see that comparison or like that resemblance in any of the other, but you're just killing at the expense of MJF. That's all I can tell.
This is it. They're teasing MJF almost being babyface, which is the wrong thing to do. That's like Randy Orton babyface. Okay, it can work.
It sucks.
It can work, but it sucks. And he's way better as a heel. So why do it?
The only way that you can pull that off, Paul, is you need a much better heel than what like MJF will be as heel. And there's maybe Roddy Piper is still alive. Do that, you know, MJF against Roddy Piper, because that will work. But at this point right now, you're just wasting Wheeler Yuta also, because he's not gaining anything from MJF, and MJF is actually losing everything that what he's able to gain as returning. So Adam Hangman Page and Jon Moxley, a good promo. Oh, I'm still I'm a man, you know. I wear a yellow shirt, but I'm a man, you know. Meeting scrum, I'm a man, you know. And then with Moxley, well, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm the AEW champion. That's kind of like, I don't know. For me, this, I mean, at the expense
some
of
people say this is the best promo Hangman Adam Page ever cut, just because, you know, you say that. I mean, everything, again, it almost goes kind of like the Bray Wyatt thing. If all this stuff he says is true, okay, whatever, this and that. Like I said, it was an emotional promo. Now he said, oh, you know, I'm depressed and I'm hurt and I'm beat up and this and that, but I still get up and I still fight and I'm still here because I'm a man and all this stuff. And the crowd was, again, into it. So it made it seem really, really, you know, like a big moment, big promo, big, you know, special thing.
It's gonna be good, but I don't think it's gonna be it's not gonna be full gear. I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna be the main event.
I think but the way that it's gonna be that is winter is coming. I think is it?
Maybe that's what
I forget what it is, but like he Moxley just like no sold it. He just with his like stupid expression just.
Sometimes he's out. You know, the thing with John Moxley, when he's into it, he's into it. Like he's like, you know, you know.
Yeah, he like no-sold it. He should have fired back, and the way that he no-sold it, it made like Hangman was like yelling at like a brick wall.
Yeah. So, and that's what I mean. It's like you need the same intensity. I don't think that these two can actually, you know, words. You know, the promo work. I don't think it's like it matches one with the other. I'm just saying that's how I feel. But again, you know, because of the CM Punk thing and all the changes that they had to do with Omega and all of that, I think that they lost a lot of value in that main event picture, because who are you going to put? That's why for me, MJF, but the only reason that they will not move him yet is because if he's not going to win, why would you make him lose one more time? Because remember, we've seen this like 2 years ago during the pandemic. That's the only excuse I have, but not Wheeler Yuta. That's all I got to say on that.
And then only
you know, we also got to see the girls fighting, Hikaru Shida and Toni Storm going against Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. This also shows you that there's not a lot of, you know, depth in this division, because again, the same women are fighting every single week. So
I mean, the women's division.
They're saying that she's cleared to wrestle, so which is good. We need that established right now. Her against Britt Baker. That will be how I get excited about this division one more time.
Yeah, I mean, the women's division needs a major spark, and I mean, the whole show just needs booking. The major thing is just the booking. You have some women there that you can at least have a decent division. I'm not saying it'll be good and compete with WWE or even Impact, but you know, at least it'll be something. But no, it's not good right now. And speaking of not good, they said Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson for the Ring of Honor Championship. How do you not put the belt
Jericho
on him?
going against the Bryan Danielson, and one more time Bryan loses. With the help of like Eric Daniel Garcia for Jericho.
Garcia turns on him. He joins Jericho. This is totally Jericho's booking. Oh, listen to me, brother. Don't worry. You know, it's best for ratings, brother, because there's no Bucks, there's no Omega, there's no Punk, there's nobody else. Tony Khan is listening now only to Chris Jericho, and that's why these shows have been shit. So he wins. This is awful. And speaking of awful that you mentioned earlier that nobody cares about, Orange Cassidy beat Pac for the the All Atlantic Championship.
That's how it should have been. It should have been done there.
Nobody cares about that belt. Nobody cares about Pac. Nobody cares about Orange Cassidy. People pop here because, again, like I said, these fans were hungry. Run this show 3 more times. The 3rd time you're here, the fans won't give a shit.
And I think he's Canadian also. I'm not completely sure, but he might be. So there you go. So like you got to do it for the crowd. But again, you know, especially the way that he won with like the orange punch, I think is like twice. You know, and Pac just like as like that, you're just like you take away that championship. That was the only thing that held Pac alive for me. That was that piece of rope that was hanging Pac alive. I don't know. I mean, Orange Cassidy is okay.
Are they still the trios champs? I don't even know and or care. You know what I mean? This show sucks. The booking is just it's too many belts, too many things to follow. Your fucking eyeballs are going like every direction, trying to follow what because
And no title
it's
really
a mess.
feels like that special. I mean, we also saw
No.
FTR that like kind of like with Wardlow, Sean Spears came back because it's Canada one more time. There you go, Sean Spears. Woo, big pop. I'm like, yeah, really? You know, Sean Spears, the guy that like is never the last time Sean Spears
Nobody
was
cares.
like when that match with Cody Rhodes when
People
he
just want people just care about the wife. Nobody cares.
yeah, exactly, like the wife, and for example, see, this is Rampage. That's how you're gonna do it, like or like John Moxley and Claudio going against the Butcher and the Blade. Really? This is a no-brainer, just an easy win for the champion and Cesaro or Claudio. Like, really? How am I supposed to believe that they have a chance against these guys? How?
Yeah, this is bad.
And people think why nobody watches Rampage because it's just a show that like everything is so predictable, and really nobody cares. It's just matches that like, that they're not good enough for Dynamite.
To me, it's like the Rampage is like a house show that's on TV.
Yeah, pretty much. If you will have house shows just on like on TV, like you said, I agree with you.
Because it's like a match, like, okay, you would pay maybe $20, $30, $40 depending, whatever, to go sit with some food and watch this on a Saturday night and interact, and the wrestlers are waving. But to see this on national TV, no way. No, and
then again, that's why AEW suffers right now. I mean, there's a lot of people that are still love it, and hey, we're still giving him a chance. No word on Adam Cole. Supposedly, the concussion that he had, Paul, now we're on AEW Aura and AEW World. Supposedly, it was really big. It was serious.
This is the only thing else. He had that shitty garbage match with Orange Cassidy where they jumped off the thing. It could have even been from that. This is the only thing I'll say. If he would have just stayed in WWE, look how Johnny Gargano's being booked. Look how Adam Cole was booked in NXT. Imagine how he would have been booked on the main roster. I'm not saying he would have came in to beat Roman Reigns. No, but he would have at least been US champ. IC champ.
And I feel that
he
like
would
at
have
some
at least
point
been
he would have challenged for the Universal Championship. If that would have been the case, if you could have turned back time and be with Kid Lee and tell him, hold on, Malachi, hold on, Adam Cole, hold on. I mean, Brian, I will not say that because Brian wanted to leave. So that's a different thing. He wanted to leave, but like
he wanted to do stuff in Japan and stuff like that.
Even Swerve Scott, Strickland, even him, we're gonna make hit roll legit. Hold on, no. They rush. And the one thing also, Paige wanted to, or Saraya, she wanted to go to AEW. They said at Triple H until the last minute, it's like, oh, you want to come back? It's all legit, it's all good. We're gonna put you. No, she doesn't want to do it. So I'm going to do backstage with everybody of my friends in AEW. Like it's Samoa Joe is there, CM Punk, all of them. They're, from that old show backstage of WWE. But anyway, AEW, we're going to still give him the chance. They still have some opportunities. But again, the one thing is also I heard that like Tony Khan did an interview for BTS Sport. And he said that like the interviewer said that was the most frustrating interview that he ever had to do because Tony Khan is like so unreachable. Like he will not give any specifics. He'll say like, oh, tell me about the media scrum. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Oh, like how, but Tony Khan is all about promoting, but when you ask him a serious question, oh, I don't want to say anything.
Oh yeah.
So like you see that like the guy likes to fight a little dirty, and that's why I think a lot of people don't respect him. That's why you see a lot of people, like going against his booking and everything. Because again, it doesn't really make sense. Miro, we don't know where he's at, or he's not feeling any special. The TNT Championship, Wardlow, okay. FTR, a lot of figures, but again, nothing is being used correctly, I want to say. So this is pretty much it, family, for this week. We want to thank every single one of you. Again, we have 7 people watching. We appreciate it. Hey, keep subscribing in the YouTube page. Keep following us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on everywhere that we have the accounts, all the social media waves. And, Paul, your closing thoughts before we leave.
Yeah, guys, everybody watching, make sure you thumbs up, follow us in all of our social media. Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, of course, right here on YouTube. The home of the #1 podcast, the Original Rope Break. Follow us all there, guys. You won't miss everything. We're here every Friday or Saturday giving you all the weekly news. And, the only thing I had to say.
We got pay-per-view next week, Paul. We're going to be doing Halloween Havoc, so it's going to be cool with NXT.
The only thing, like I had to say, like I said at the top, I'll say it here at the end, my final thoughts. WWE's on the upswing. They have all the momentum. AEW has none.
Exactly. So you and me have one more thing that is left to say. Have a great weekend, family, and that is Uh,
The